It is April 16th, and some parents may still be wondering, why is my child still sick? New data shows respiratory illnesses are still spreading across Massachusetts, and it's not just RSV. Joining us now is Dr. Kristen Moffat from Boston Children's Hospital to break down what's going on right now. Always great to see you, Doctor.
Hey, Dr. Moffat, thanks for your time. So a lot of parents, as you know, thought we'd be past this by now, right? We're heading toward the April vacation, which is next week, but kids are still getting sick. So what viruses are you actually seeing right now here in Massachusetts, and why does this dragging into the third week of April?
Yeah, I know. It does feel long. The freezing cold may be behind us, but some of those classic winter viruses are still sticking around, namely RSV, as you mentioned, and we're still seeing a lot of flu B, which we do tend to see later than flu A, but it does still seem to be a moderate amount of that as well. And then in addition, we're seeing an uptick of some other viruses like parainfluenza, which is one of the most common causes of croup, or that really barky cough in young children. So it's kind of a combination of some viruses lingering and some new ones that are just typical for spring.
Parents keep saying that their kids are getting better, then they get really sick again. Are these lingering symptoms from one virus, or are they catching multiple infections back to back?
Yeah, the natural course of a viral infection would be that there's a few days when the symptoms are the worst, but then sort of gradual and consistent recovery, but it may take days and it may take weeks. So if a child has been consistently getting better, but then they are suddenly sicker again, it probably is a new infection. And if those new symptoms include really high fever or a much worse cough, they should be seen by their pediatrician, because sometimes a recovering viral infection can actually get complicated by a bacterial superinfection. So they should get evaluated.
Dr. Moffat, let me add another element to the conversation. Yeah. As you drive around now and look, green is popping everywhere. Right. So how can parents tell the difference between spring allergies or another infection that actually needs medical attention?
Yeah, that's a great question, because it's not easy, because there's so much overlap in the symptoms between a viral infection and seasonal allergies, especially nasal congestion and sneezing would be typical for either of those. But itchy and watery eyes would be much more typical of allergies than of an infection. And then on the flip side, fever or a productive cough would be much more typical of infection than allergies. So those are some ways you might tell the difference.
What's the best way to protect our kids right now? Is it too late to get caught up on vaccinations, Doctor?
Yeah, most of the vaccine preventable illnesses are almost behind us. So I would say the best thing that parents can do is to make sure that their kids and infants are up to date on their routine immunizations. We did extend the period of eligibility for that RSV antibody injection that very young babies can get, and that's extended all the way through to the end of April, because we're having such a long RSV season. So stay up to date with your pediatrician. That's especially true if you have very young infants or infants who have an underlying medical condition that makes them susceptible to severe infection. Just stay on top of those routine immunizations.
Dr. Moffat, thank you. It's great to see you.
Thank you, Doctor. We love talking with you. Thank you. Stay well.